Namaste beta. Today we are going to start with one of the very important topic of atomic structure, that is de Broglie's dual nature of matter. When we say dual nature of matter, the first we must understand there is a topic, dual nature of light. And whenever we say light has dual nature, it means particle nature as well as wave nature. Dual nature of light was proved by two important theories. One theory, electromagnetic wave theory, which was in favor of wave nature of light, and another theory is Planck's quantum theory, which was in favor of particle nature. It means light has dual nature, and whenever we say light has dual nature, it means particle as well as wave nature. And from these two theories, finally we concluded lambda is equal to h upon mv, and it was written lambda is equal to h upon mc, where m is mass of photon and c is velocity of light. This was proposed by, this whole concept was duality of light was proposed by Einstein. Then Einstein's equation was used in this formula, and we get lambda is equal to h upon mc. It means light has both the characters, particle nature as well as wave nature. Some important aspects like black body radiations, photoelectric effect are in favor of particle nature, interference, diffraction, and then we have reflection, refraction, all those are in favor of wave nature, right? Now, de Broglie suggested us, according to de Broglie, as light has dual nature, in the same manner, de Broglie's dual nature of matter. So we can see dual nature of matter by de Broglie. And this concept was like matter objects are having duality, they are having dual nature, particle as well as wave nature. So when we say matter objects are associated with, the matter objects are associated with particle as well as wave nature. When in motion. So whenever particles are in motion, it means if a particle is having velocity v, its lambda is equal to h upon mv. So as light has dual nature, in the same manner particles are also having dual nature of matter, or we can say matter with velocity v, mass m, is going to have a wavelength lambda, and that is duality of light and de Broglie's formula. From this de Broglie's formula, m is mass of particle, v is velocity of that particle, and lambda is the wavelength, where h is Planck's constant 6.626 10 raised to power minus 34 joule second. From this formula, it is clear that lambda is inversely proportional to mass, lambda is inversely proportional to velocity, and we can say that a particle having very small mass value is having considerable value of wavelength. Mass is very less for electron. So we can say that as mass is very less for electron, therefore its lambda is not negligible. Now, as de Broglie concluded that mass of electron is very less, its lambda is not negligible, it means electron is having a proper wavelength which cannot be neglected. And if electron is having a wavelength which cannot be neglected, the electron cannot be on a straight path, it is moving in a wave-like manner. So we can see that electron is moving on a path in wave manner with some wavelength. The electron is having wavelength lambda, and lambda is the wavelength of electronic wave. Thus, we can say that electron cannot have a circular path as suggested by Bohr. And this was the first jerk, a big jerk on Bohr's model, and Bohr's model was rejected by de Broglie's dual nature. Ultimately, we can see that electron cannot have the circular path, it cannot be on the orbit or shell, it is having a wave nature, it is having wavelength, and that wavelength is not negligible at all. Now thus we can see that ultimately, as light is having duality, dual nature, we have also particles with a dual nature, lambda is equal to h upon mv. After this part, when we say de Broglie's dual nature was discussed, then next point we have is, as we can say that lambda is equal to h upon mv, we can modify this formula in several ways. We can do it as lambda 1 by lambda 2 will be equal to m2 v2 by m1 v1. As lambda is equal to h upon mv, and we can write here as p. It means lambda is inversely proportional to momentum. And what is p? P is mass into velocity, that is called momentum. So now we can say that lambda 1 by lambda 2 is equal to P2 by P1. This formula can be derived. Now, lambda of electron in first shell of hydrogen and lambda of a cricket ball or some ball of mass 200 grams with velocity 100 meter per second. Let it be the value 100 meter per second. We can calculate lambda of both. When I say first shell, in first shell velocity of electron is 2.18 10 raised to power 6 z by n meter per second, and as this formula is going to give us first shell means n is 1, z is also 1 and 1 cancel, we can say 2.18 10 raised to power 6. So lambda comes out to be 6.626 10 raised to power minus 34 divided by, it is mass of electron 9.1 10 raised to power minus 31 kilogram, and velocity is 2.18 10 raised to power 6 meter per second. This value will come out to be in the order of 10 raised to power minus 9 meter. It is 0.35 around into 10 raised to power minus 9 meter, and when I calculate this cricket ball or ball's value of wavelength, this value is 6.626 10 raised to power minus 34. Mass is 200, but grams cannot be used here. We have to use in kilograms. Divided by 1000 into 100 meter per second, 2 zeros cancelled. We are left with 10 only. Now it is 3.313 10 raised to power minus 35 meter. Now it's very clear that this value is not negligible. This is in nanometer, and this value is very small and can be neglected. Therefore we can say that this de Broglie's dual nature of matter concept is very much applicable, or we can say valid, significant for subatomic particles. The particles, those are having very small mass value. Although they are having good velocity, even then the lambda is not going to be negligible. It is in nanometer. We can't neglect the value of nanometer with respect to electron. Thus finally, this lambda is significant. We can see here, we can see significant value. This is significant over here, and for ball it is going to be neglected. Next point. Now, in case we accelerating electron through potential difference of, let us suppose, V volt. It means whenever we accelerate electron through a potential difference, let us suppose V volt, what does it mean? When I say it is accelerated, it means I have to think about a diagram in which we are having voltage V applied and electron is being accelerated. Negative terminal, this is positive terminal, electron is being accelerated. So whenever we accelerate electron through a potential difference of V, under a potential of V, in that case, we are having kinetic energy of electron that comes out to be EV, charge into potential, is called kinetic energy. Now, when charge into potential is kinetic energy, it means now we can have another formula for de Broglie's dual nature wavelength. It means we can have de Broglie's wavelength formula in terms of kinetic energy. Now, kinetic energy is half mv square. It is equal to EV. V square is equal to 2 EV by m, and V comes out to be 2 EV by m under the root. The velocity of electron we can calculate. Now we can put this value, lambda is equal to h upon mv, and we can put it here, lambda m 2 EV by m and under root. We can solve it, we can simplify this equation as, we can write it as lambda is equal to h root m, and it is 2 EV by m under root. Further, lambda becomes equal to h upon 2 EVm under the root. Now in this formula, h is a Planck's constant, we know that. 2 is another constant, E charge of electron, m is mass of electron, and we can solve all those constants as, we can get 12.27 by root of potential in Armstrong. The wavelength can be calculated as 12.27 by root V Armstrong, and this way lambda can be calculated. This is lambda calculation in terms of voltage potential. It means if voltage is given to be 100 volt and electron is being accelerated, lambda comes out to be 12.27 under root 100. Root 100 is 10, it will be 1.227 Armstrong. Or we can see that this formula can be written otherwise, we can write it as lambda is equal to h 2 times kinetic energy m under root, because we know that EV is nothing else, it is kinetic energy. So we can say that EV can be replaced by kinetic energy. We can write here kinetic energy. This formula can also be used. So there are two formulas. One is in terms of potential, another is in terms of kinetic energy. So this is about the potential applied on electron, and wavelength is there with the electron, and that wavelength can be calculated. This is another concept. Now, de Broglie's dual nature, lambda is calculated in terms of potential, kinetic energy, mass velocity, momentum, etc. The next part is, in Bohr's model, there is one important formula of angular momentum. And whenever we say angular momentum, it is mvr is equal to nh upon 2 pi. Now we can write it as 2 pi mvr is equal to nh, or we can say that 2 pi r is equal to nh upon mv. Now h upon mv here, this part is nothing else, it is de Broglie's wavelength. So we can say that 2 pi r is equal to n lambda. It means if we have a radius of a shell known with us, circumference is 2 pi r, the number of waves on that circumference is always going to be integral multiple of this wavelength. So lambda, integral number of waves will be there on a circumference. So we can say number of waves on a circumference is integral multiple of wavelength, or is integral value. That means integral value means beta n here is, it can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3, 4, 5, it cannot be fractional. It means on a circumference, the number of waves and that those waves are going to be always either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they cannot be fractional. It is integral multiple of wavelength is equal to 2 pi r. Now, when I say 2 pi r, r can be written as 0.529 into n square by z, right? And it is equal to n lambda. This radius, this is the formula of radius of hydrogen atom or helium-1 positive by Bohr. We can write it as 2 pi 0.529 into n by z is equal to lambda. 1 n is cancelled out. Now this value is nothing else. It is radius of hydrogen first shell, that is 0.529 Armstrong. It means this value can be written as radius of hydrogen first shell. It can also be written as A naught, or we can say R naught. So we can see that 2 pi R naught n by z is equal to wavelength. This question was there in the competitive exam, that calculate the wavelength in fourth shell. If radius of the shell is A naught, hydrogen first shell radius is A naught, in fourth shell what is the answer for hydrogen? For hydrogen z becomes 1, this will become A naught, answer is 4 2s are 8 pi A naught was the answer. So this is how de Broglie's dual nature of matter can be used in respect of your waves or shell, 2 pi r circumference and so on. So thus we can say that when we talk about electron or very small particle like atom or molecules, in all those cases de Broglie's wavelength is not negligible and we can't ignore the wavelength of electron. This value is not negligible value. So we have to consider lambda of subatomic particles because this lambda value is having some considerable value, significant value. Finally, we can see that what is de Broglie's dual nature of matter. There are some formulas like lambda is equal to h upon mv. There is a first important formula. Second important concept is lambda is equal to h upon 2 times kinetic energy m under the root. Or we can say that h lambda is equal to h upon 2 EVM under the root, or we can say lambda is equal to 12.27 divided by root of potential voltage in Armstrong. This can be written as 12.3 because we can round it off as 12.3. Three important formulas. Lambda is equal to h upon mv. We can say it can be written as h upon p. It means wavelength is inversely proportional to momentum. Lambda 1 by lambda 2, it is equal to h upon mv. We can have the ratio when the ratio can be taken as p2 by p1 or it can be taken as M2V2 by M1V1. And finally, as we can have the pictorial representation, now electron is moving like a wave. And whenever I say electron is moving like a wave, the number is going to be, n is going to be integral value, or we can say n is a whole number value. Then number of waves are going to be either 1, 2, 3, 4. It cannot be fractional. We can't have a diagram like this. If I draw this value, it is in continuation. But if I draw this value, it means I have crust overlapping with a crust. When I say crust is overlapping with a crust, this type of diagram is not permitted. Only a continuous movement of electron can be permitted. It means electron is moving only in the manner of a complete wave. There cannot be a stop or start button in the electronic movement. There cannot be a break in the electronic movement. We can't move electron like this, crust, again crust. And this type of movement is not allowed at all. A sharp jerk or sharp turn is not allowed in electronic movement. Thus, electron is moving in three-dimensional path or three-dimensional ways. It cannot be on a circular path as suggested by Bohr. Thus, Bohr's model was rejected. So, de Broglie's dual nature of matter. Ultimately, finally, we concluded that every matter object which is having a wave nature as well as particle nature, and when we say matter objects, for example, we are matter objects, we are associated with both particle nature as well as wave nature. It means particle nature is visible to us, but wavelength associated with the matter objects is not visible to us. That wavelength is very small and not visible. So we can say we have that duality in us, but that wavelength is very, very small, negligible. That's why we are not in position to understand de Broglie's wavelength in our real life. That's all about your de Broglie's dual nature of matter. Now in this chapter, atomic structure, we are having numericals on the basis of these formulas: kinetic energy or potential, mass velocity or momentum. So we can solve numericals of de Broglie's dual nature of matter. And the last part, when I draw this diagram is ultimately leading to a conclusion of 2 pi r is equal to n lambda. It means this formula of 2 pi r is equal to n lambda is actually this diagrammatic representation, and this is the formula conclusion. Thus, you must remember all these concepts, these formulas, and we can start with the numericals. You can start with the numericals of de Broglie's dual nature of matter. That's all for de Broglie's dual nature of matter. You can understand the concept thoroughly and solve the numericals. Thank you, beta.